All right, lots to discuss, which I also think is so interesting because we're not used to having hard-hitting political discussions right after the 4th of July, but there are no off days in this election cycle. Charlie, I want to start with you. We all watched that ABC News interview. Obviously, other Americans were watching it, but it was on July 5th. So if they ever wanted to slide something in under the radar, probably the Friday after the 4th of July was probably the day to do it. I believe it was roughly 22 minutes long, didn't even last a full half an hour. And the entirety of the time, I heard Joe Biden say, "I'm sorry, but I had a bad night. It wasn't anybody else's fault, but, here's excuse, jet lag 15 days later." When you watched it, did you think this is a guy that's going to hold on to his nomination?
I thought it was terrible, but I didn't think it was terrible enough that it's going to cook his goose immediately. It gave people, it didn't reassure anybody. And you make an excellent point. The strangest thing about all of it is if you're trying to reassure people that the president is okay, then wouldn't you want a big opportunity to do it? They picked the day after the 4th of July when nobody's paying attention. And it's like they were trying to hide their big opportunity to make a big splash. Look, he put out a statement I guess during the week, saying that I'm the sitting president. An extraordinary statement to hear from a sitting president saying, I'm the sitting president. But it's also completely correct. He is the sitting president. There's nothing anybody can do. They can stop giving him money. They can put pressure on him. But he's the president of the United States. And if he doesn't want to go and he wants to take his party down with him, he can do that.
It feels like we might be on our way. But, you know, President Joe Biden did say that there is one person that could convince him. It's just not your traditional person. Let's take a listen to this.
If you can be convinced that you cannot defeat Donald Trump, will you stand down?
Well, it depends if the Lord Almighty comes down and tells me that, I might do that. None of the people said I should leave them.
But if they do?
Well, it's like, they're not going to do that.
You sure?
Well, yeah, sure. Look, I mean, if the Lord Almighty came down and said, Joe, get out of the race, I'd get out of the race. The Lord Almighty's not coming down.
Joey, Lord Almighty is not coming down. First Lady Jill Biden probably not going to say anything similar to that. We know that she wants to hold on to this just as much, if not more, than Joe does. But what did you make of his defiance towards George Stephanopoulos? There hasn't been many times in his presidency that he has been challenged that way. I still think it was a rather softball interview, but it was more challenged than we've seen him probably to date.
Yeah, I mean, first of all, if I'm that old and that close to death, I'm probably not invoking the Lord on anything except for maybe another day or two on this earth, but that's just me. On top of that, yeah, you know, my initial reaction to the interview was pretty positive. I appreciated that George Stephanopoulos didn't take whatever answer Biden gave and moved on. It wasn't fluff. It wasn't hard hitting, but you know, all the descriptions since the interview are, this looks like someone in a therapy session, an intervention. I get that. That was not my first reaction, but I understand that. You know, I can't help but go back. He says that he was struck. The excuses that he's pulling for each thing, like either why he was so bad, and he then, you know, it's going from the cold to jet lag, and then he says he couldn't concentrate because Trump was shouting. We can talk about why that may be later. And then the next thing he says, I wasn't in control. Well, brother, if you can't be in control of a two-person debate, how are you going to be in control of a room full of generals who think they're the smartest men and women in this world? How are you going to be in control of a bunch of, now you've hired millennials, which are 30s and 40s, to run a lot of things, who think they're the smartest people in the world? How are you going to be in control of the people around you that you need to delegate responsibility to and not let them go do something that maybe you didn't want them to do? And makes me wonder, is that where we've been all this time?
Yeah.
When your excuse is I wasn't in control, you're not supposed to be in control. You're supposed to gain control. You're supposed to command control. You are the commander-in-chief, and that is not what you were in that debate.
I also think it's interesting because as a president, you need to battle through colds and international trips and a day that maybe doesn't end at 4 p.m. But Tammy, what I think is most
I hate
interesting.
it when that happens.
I know. Boy, we're here and Biden's probably already asleep.
There you go.
But what I thought was most interesting about this, besides just the way that George Stephanopoulos handled it, was the reaction that the panel gave immediately after. Let's take a listen. You probably won't see this too much on mainstream media reacting to a Democrat, but let's give this one a whirl.
There's nothing in this interview that is calming nerves of jittery Democrats who fear that Joe Biden is on a trajectory to lose this race.
Others say that they still have concerns, that the dam hasn't broken tonight, but the bleeding has not stopped either.
I've talked to a few people, too, and texting with a few people as well on the Hill. They say it was better than they expected, wasn't as bad as they expected, but that's a pretty low bar.
A pretty low bar indeed. What's your reaction to their reaction?
Well, the picture also, the whole panel together, it looked like someone had run over all of their kittens.
Yeah.
They were not happy. But let me just say one point about all of that is that they're reacting to the poll numbers. They're not reacting to him and his mental capacity.
Exactly right.
Because they've known that for years. But what they thought they were going to do was take out Donald Trump, and it wouldn't matter. But now it matters. So you've got a party, despite the fact that, they're supposed to save democracy. How does it save democracy to take out the guy that your base voted for in the primaries, who is the nominee, who is the sitting president, and that you're just going to switch him out because your ratings are bad right now and the polls are bad because you're going to lose? Like it's let's have a do-over. That's what they're doing now. Nobody cares about Joe Biden's mental state. They don't care that this has been a fraud. They care that they are going to lose. Their main plan didn't work, and they're going to throw that man and his wife under the bus. And that's why they're not letting go.
And they're pushing pretty hard.
Click here to subscribe to the Fox News YouTube page to catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis. You won't get it anywhere else.